how to solve absolute value inequalities. That will deal with the IXL will be L3, solve absolute value inequalities. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's get rid of this. Okay. All right, the first thing I want you to do is to write this down. X plus stuff is greater than, or the absolute value of X plus stuff is greater than -5. Okay, what stuff? Stuff could be, and you don't have to write anything other than just stuff, but it could be letters, numbers, it doesn't matter. The whole idea is that we are dealing with what is inside of these absolute value symbols right here, these absolute value symbols. Okay, all right. So you have to ask yourself this first question before you start and do anything else on these solving absolute value inequalities. You have to ask yourself this question. The first question is everything inside of the absolute value symbols on the left side of the inequality? So over here on the left side of the inequality, is everything inside of the absolute value symbols? Because you have to get everything inside of the absolute value symbols in order to do this. So in this case, the answer is yes. So then the second question you ask yourself is, what about this -5 here? Well, first I need to know what is absolute value. What is absolute value? Okay, if you don't remember, absolute value is distance from 0. So what this is saying is everything in here, it's saying what number or numbers is -5 away from 0? I'll give you a moment. That's right. There's no number that's negative away from anything. There's no such thing as negative distance. So I want you to do this in your notes. Use a technical term here. Nope. If everything's inside of the absolute value symbol over here, and you've got an inequality, and this is a negative number, you may not proceed. You're done. The way that you would show that in math is make you a circle right here, not an oval, a circle, and then make a line at about 45 degrees. That's not a 0. That is the empty set, the empty set. That means what numbers are in the set of numbers that are -5 away from 0? There are none. Therefore, that is an empty set. So that's the first thing that I want to get in your head before we actually start doing some of these. All right, let's look at our first example. First question, is everything inside of the absolute value symbol? The answer, yes, on this one. Is this a non-negative number? Why didn't I say positive? Because it could be 0. You can be 0 away from 0. So 0 would work, but 0 is neither positive nor negative. So is this a non-negative number? Yes, it's either 0 or positive. It is a non-negative number. All right, so here's the steps. You look at everything in here and you write it down exactly as you see it right down here on the left. Then you finish it up. There you go. You did part of this. This says X is greater than 3. But it could also be the opposite of everything in here. So you're going to write the opposite of everything in there is greater than 3. Okay, so the problem that I have right here is that I'm not interested in negative X. I'm interested in positive X. So I have to ask myself, what's the coefficient right here? What number's in front of that letter? The invisible number is a 1, or since this is a negative X, it is a -1. The -1 is in front of there. Now I can work this. How do I get the X by itself? I divide out the -1. Ding, 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 ding. Remember, when you multiply or divide by a negative number and you're dealing with an inequality, that means that you have to flip the inequality. You have to flip that inequality. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue. I know that these cancel, leaving just the X. Okay, and if I divide one term by -1, I have to divide all the terms by -1. And 3 divided by -1 is going to be -3. Okay, so now that the question that I ask myself that I have, now that I have letter something number, letter something number, I have to ask myself, can you be bigger than 3 and smaller than -3? Yes, you can be to the right of, or no, you cannot. You cannot be to the right of 3 on the number line and to the left of -3. You cannot. Therefore, this is an OR. This is an OR. All right. Now, which number is smaller? The -3 is smaller, so that goes on the left. And it does say X is right, less than -3. So I have to write X is less than -3. And so on the right, I have X is greater than 3. And that is the answer to our very first example.